Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today we are looking at what their intuition is telling them about you. We have 3 piles to choose from, 1, 2, and 3. You can choose as many or as few as you would like. Yeah, that is all on the reading. There will also be an extended and it will be linked down below. Personal readings are also available, which they are also linked down below. Yeah, I don't have a lot to announce today, so I will leave you to focus on which deck calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello, my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading on what the intuition of the person on your mind is telling them about you. They don't have to necessarily be someone spiritual or very intuitive. We are just going to take a look at what information is basically available to them through what they might call a gut feeling, an intuitive feeling, an instinct, whatever it may be, whatever the exact label of it may be. But that's the kind of energy we're aiming to go for. So we have some oracle cards to start with. We also have some tarot to get through, as well as an extended, which we'll talk about later on, and it will be linked down below. So let's see. Also, before we get into this, you were supposed to be pile 3, and when I was shuffling, because I pre-shuffled for all of the piles already, when I was shuffling, it was just like, no, this is pile 1, this is pile 1, and then pile 1 is now pile 3. So if you felt drawn to both, there could be a connection. If not, it's whatever. That is also fine. But yeah, maybe someone that's gonna pick pile 1 or pile 3 has a significant meaning for the number 3 or 1. I don't know, but let's get into this. So starting off, we have 4th house roots. Cancer energy or season could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. We have square, opposition, I'm, for some reason, immediately drawn to the letters S and O, and it makes me think of significant other. But it almost feels with this square and opposition energy that for some of you, this might be someone who you are not necessarily with, but the two of you might be with other people, or one of you could have kids. There's some kind of family commitment that is getting in the way of this connection. Just to kind of have a framework of that as well. We have the mask. We have panther. Fear that the light will bring judgment. To overcome, you first have to climb. And we have howl at the moon, process your feelings. I think for a lot of you, this is going to be someone who doesn't know you that well, whom you also may not know that well, or on a very deep level, on a very intimate level so far. Because it feels like there is not necessarily physical distance between the two of you, but emotional. And that doesn't mean you've never been with this person. It could definitely be an ex, but if that is the case, it would be someone that you have met again, or that you are kind of reconnecting with on some level. But I think there is a lot that this person doesn't know about you, so there is a lot that they have to assume, or a lot of gaps that they're having to fill in about this connection. And it seems like neither of you has really fully talked about your feelings with the other. It seems like there are a lot of things that are unsaid currently between the two of you, but things that you may both be aware of intuitively in a gut feeling way, because intuitively, I'm just going to say intuitively, but it can be any specific label that you choose to replace that with. But intuitively, this person is very drawn to you. And I don't think this is someone who is necessarily very intuitive by nature. I don't think this is someone who is very much in tune with their intuition, but I think this feeling is quite strong. So they definitely recognize that they are very drawn to you. And there is an opportunity here to heal. But it is a scary opportunity, I think, to this person. Because emotionally they feel like someone who's maybe not very much in their heart space, someone who's not very in tune with their emotions, someone who maybe doesn't like talking about their emotions that much. They may be in more of a practical profession, or they might work like either alone, like be their own boss, or work with people, but kind of in a very distanced way, where they don't emotionally have to connect with other people, because I feel like that's not something that comes very easily to this person. And there is also this feeling, this energy of them feeling like your eye is on them as well. And I think for a lot of you, this person doesn't have a lot of information or things happening to base this off of. I think for a lot of you, you haven't necessarily said that to this person or acted in a way where it's very obvious that you are interested in them. But I think this person feels that, I think their intuition is telling them that this is kind of a bigger journey. A bigger journey that they haven't even fully started. Like they've barely even taken a step towards it. And it also feels like that is caused by external circumstances, as well as the past with this roots energy coming out. Like it seems like they have ties elsewhere and you have ties elsewhere potentially as well. It could also just be one of you, but it seems like for a lot of you, this person is pouring their energy elsewhere because it's their responsibility, because they feel responsible to pour their energy elsewhere, essentially. It could be just their career or school, a skill that they're training, a business that they're starting. It could be taking care of one of their parents, taking care of a family member, taking care of their child. For some of you, I do feel that this person may be in another relationship, or you might be in another relationship, because it seems like currently the commitment lies elsewhere. But that doesn't mean that this person doesn't feel incredibly drawn to you, but I think potentially due to other commitments they have as well, there is a bit of defensiveness, and not just from commitments if they don't have any other engagements, other commitments that may be getting in the way. I think, well, regardless of whether there is another commitment or not, I think this person is emotionally guarded, a little bit emotionally withdrawn. For a lot of these situations, I think it comes from family or maybe a marriage, an intimate relationship. But it seems like it may have been a while back and not necessarily that they're fresh out of a relationship. And I'm saying that because it feels more deeply embedded in their energy, that these fears that they may have around intimacy, around being vulnerable as well. I think it doesn't come easily to them, but they also sense that there is something bigger than just them going on between the two of you. This feels quite spiritual in nature. It feels like a connection that this person may not necessarily have a very good understanding of or a very good label for. And they sense that this would take work, that this connection would not necessarily come easily, even though it's coming on quite strongly in an energetic sense, in an intuitive sense, in a gut feeling, instinct kind of sense. And it seems to come naturally. It seems that this person intuitively recognizes you, feels familiar with you, feels familiar to your energy. And for some of you, this person may interpret that as like, oh, I've known pile one for some time. Or, oh, our families are friends for a long time. Or, oh, we come from similar cultures. And that's why I feel close to pile one. For a lot of you, speaking of similar cultures, you may be like from the same culture living in a different place where there is like you may have moved to a different country, or become a part of a different society that is like different from what you were brought up in. And the same for this person. But they feel this, I feel called to call it a mysterious pull. And they sense that there is definitely more than what meets the eye to you and to the elements of this situation as well. Also to the factors that are coming in between the two of you. This person realizes that they are presented with a challenge so that they can overcome this challenge. Not so they like crumble underneath it. I think this person, while afraid, they are also kind of in an energy of like recognizing where they may need to grow or where they could benefit from growth or what ideas they have that they could change that could make them feel better, happier, safer, more secure. And they sense that there is an opportunity to kind of settle here and feel more secure. But again, that doesn't come easily. And they know it's not just going to be served to them. They're going to have to make it happen if they choose to. And I think on a level, they sense that they don't really have to be afraid of taking a risk. They don't really have to, but that doesn't mean that they're not afraid or that they don't feel obliged to other things or responsible for other situations. I think for some of you, this person may even feel like they know you from a past life, and they don't have to actually believe that. And I don't know what your stance is on past lives. I don't know what my stance is on past lives, really. But there is that sense of deep recognition. And they may say, like, as a metaphor, oh, like, it's like I know pile one from a past life, from another life, like we've met before. Even if I don't really know much about pile one, they just seem very familiar. I think they also sense that there may be more obstacles that appear in the way of this pull that they feel. And that this is a situation that requires patience and perseverance, endurance, also ambition.
not necessarily what I would use in an emotional context, but that's what's coming through. Maybe this is someone who is very ambitious, who is very, I accidentally said Mary, so the name Mary could be significant, or marriage. But yeah, I think this is someone who's not afraid of challenges necessarily, as long as they're physical or practical or like mental, or they have to learn something really well, or they have to perform something really well. But I think when it comes to emotions, the challenge seems a little bit more intimidating, and they sense kind of the emotional challenge here because I think they intuitively feel that if they were to come closer to you, they would just be sucked in. And that's not going to be a light energy to deal with necessarily, or it wouldn't be something to be taken lightly. Let's get some tarot to understand this energy a little bit better. And I'm just stalling a little bit as I realized I didn't bring your tarot deck here. So let's just put these away. And while I'm doing that and shuffling the deck, I will quickly talk about what we're looking at in the extended. We are getting tons of channeled messages from this person. We're going to look at their next actions in this connection and towards you. And we are going to look at what their intention is, like what they hope to achieve with these actions. And we will also get advice for you on how to navigate the energies of this situation, or anything else that may be important that needs to come through right now. And the link is down below. So pile 1, please. I keep wanting to call you pile 3. What is this person's intuition telling them about pile 1? We have the Page of Wands. There is that attraction, but the Page is not necessarily a very developed card, a very developed energy, but it is more of a seeker. It is more of a curious being. So I feel like this person does feel intrigued and like drawn to you in a palpable way, in a way that feels quite palpable at this point. Even if there isn't much going on between the two of you, even if they don't really know much about you, even if not a lot has been established about this situation. What is this person's intuition? We have the Hermit. Virgo energy or season could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. And there is that kind of more analytical energy again. I think this is also someone who is very intelligent. We have the King of Swords in reverse, but they seem to feel a little bit silly with this situation. I think if you look at this situation from the mind of someone who's very logical, or someone who tends to take logic as their basis for anything, like their preferred path, it may seem a bit bizarre that they feel so drawn to you. So I think this is someone who kind of may try to make sense of their intuition by rationalizing it, and then not really being able to come up with a rational reason why they feel drawn to you, especially if like you don't know them very well or you don't really talk to them that much. I don't think they've experienced that many times, if any time, before. Pile 1, please. What is this person's intuition telling them about pile 1 and their connection? This person's intuition. We have the Eight of Wands. This for me is another card of like movement and energetic connection, especially because it's wands. We have the Four of Wands. Speaking of that, the Four of Wands, it's a sense of safety, security, and I think intuitively they feel that you would be a safe person, but it's almost like the situation would have to be made into a safe one. And I think that is also a little bit of fearful thinking. They may have been burned in the past, and they may be very tentative when it comes to intimacy and vulnerability and opening up to people. But there's also this intuitive sense of like, it would be safe to open up to pile 1. But then having that intuitive knowledge is sometimes not all it takes to motivate us. And I say that because I feel like maybe for a lot of you, this situation has been like at a standstill, or you're maybe going in circles a little bit with this person. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I think they sense that you would be a good, stable, secure partner. And the two of you would be matched in a, I'm hearing, in a way that makes sense. So we'll keep that wording. We have the Sun in reverse. They're talking themselves out of this. And I think there is that intuitive knowing that this is something they're doing that is getting in their own way, that is not necessarily making them feel good, that is not necessarily helpful at all. And even if they have that knowledge, I feel like they, in a way, can't really help it. Seems like they can't really help but have a bit of negative self-talk. And that is a difficult habit to shake off. I think this person may be quite critical of themselves. And we also had the fear that the light will bring judgment card. And I think this perception does exist in them. And I think it's also because they judge themselves quite hard. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. We have the World in reverse. Leo energy could be significant. The World I associate personally with Capricorn. So I'm gonna say Capricorn, and we have the Ace of Swords. They feel drawn to communicate with you more, or to be in your energy. And I think that is entirely intuitive and not at all logical to this person. With the Hermit and the World in reverse, they sense they barely see the full picture. And they sense that there is a much bigger picture than what it is that they're seeing right now. But they also, there's a sense of not being ready. And it almost feels a bit like they feel like if it was time, there would be a green light. So it could be that they feel their intuition or their gut feeling is telling them to stay away. And I'm not sure if that is actually an intuitive knowing that they have, or if it's just a result of the fears and anxieties they may have around opening up and not being burned, or feeling held back by their responsibilities, or not even held back, but feeling like it's a better time to invest in other things right now, or to invest in themselves, or to invest in their career, or to invest in family, or spend time with family. This person definitely knows there's a lot that they don't see or understand very well. But we have the Queen of Cups coming out. They feel really kind of like it's almost like being called, but without you necessarily saying anything. Like with you being very subtle about it. Sorry if you can hear the construction outside. I don't know. That's new, but hopefully it'll stop in a second. But maybe this also kind of points to this person feeling like there is this intuitive sense of like, there is something to build here. There would be potential to build here. This could be secure ground to build on. Pile 1 could have the resources to build with me. But I think there comes in the self-doubt of like, do I have the resources to build? Can I build now? Do I have the time to build? And I think because this is quite a logical person, they're not really convinced by their intuition. We have the 3 of Swords. And there is that guardedness, that kind of emotional caution, that difficulty in staying and being in their heart space or going down there in the first place. Is there anything else that wants to come through? We have the Hierophant, which for me confirms that sense of like that spiritual connectedness, that inner knowing that there could be something much bigger than this person sees or knows or understands here. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my pile ones? Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. There is something about timing. I think they intuitively feel that it is not the right time, or what they would identify as an intuitive feeling, but it might actually not be coming from their intuition necessarily. I think there's a bit of confusion there, or a bit of like bias out of fear, out of anxiety, out of a fear of doing the wrong thing, or not doing the right thing, more so. Yeah, I think on this note, this is all I have for you for the main reading. I will take this to the extended now. See you in a little bit if you're meeting me there. If not, I am sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 2s, and welcome to your reading on what the person on your mind's intuition is telling them about you. They don't have to necessarily be someone very in tune with their intuition. They don't have to call it their intuition. They could call it a gut feeling or instinct or natural pull or whatever it may be. The label part of it doesn't really matter that much, but we're just trying to look at what they feel, what they sense intuitively about you and the connection that you are in. So let's see. We're starting off with some oracle cards first, then we have some tarot to get through, as well as an extended reading, but we will talk about that later on. So starting off, we have Void of Course Moon missing. We have Black Moon Lilith. This came out in reverse. I will put it upright for aesthetics, but I kept them this way for now to remember. And this one also came out in reverse. We have South Node, North Node. We have the Shadow. I heard this is my pile, and like, well, not mine, not me, but like in my mind's eye, I heard it's almost like someone saying, like, when you see the shadow, like, this is my situation. But yeah, let's, we have Swan, we have Inside Looking Out. You have the ability to affect your own destiny. And we have Dark Moon, the Past. Okay. I think this is a situation where a lot has happened with this person, because, I mean, we do have this shadow energy, and it seems like both your shadow and this person's shadow could have come out in this connection. It could have been very triggering for both of you, but in different ways, because it feels like this is someone who may have been triggered by the intensity of the connection between the two of you, and you could have been triggered not by the intensity of it necessarily. You may have not necessarily been afraid of the intensity, but you may have been burned by this person's fear, by this person's fear of being vulnerable, fear of opening up, fear of being intimate, their anxiety around this, and the self-sabotage that comes with it, that may have come with it. But the thing is, I think intuitively this is someone who feels they're missing out. Yeah. I feel like sighing a lot suddenly, and I've noticed when I channel, I tend to pick up bits and pieces of that person's energy as well, and express that not just through, like, not just kind of feel it and talk about it, but I also sometimes get a headache out of the blue, or my leg really hurts, or I taste menthol in my mouth, because it turns out they smoke menthol cigarettes or something. I don't, and this right now, this sighing, I feel like this is someone who feels quite stuck, quite in their head, quite dissatisfied, quite unhappy. And I think intuitively they know that has to do with how they behaved in this connection, and how they have behaved in the past as well, potentially with other situations, maybe with other partners. And for some of you, I think this is not even a romantic partner necessarily. It definitely can be. I don't want to put any limitations on, like, whether this is romantic or a friendship, but I do feel for some of you this is also a family member or a friend or an ex-friend, and not necessarily just a romantic interest. But for a lot of you, I think this is someone from the past, and not just because we have this card that is the past, quite literally, but because I think a lot has happened here, and it seems with this Void of Course Moon energy, you are separated, like you are at a distance, if not physically, then emotionally, or both. And this person, I think they still feel intuitively very drawn to you and to this situation, because they seem to not have really learned or taken what they could from the situation. They seem to have not used the energy of this situation and the opportunities that it may have brought them in terms of healing or growth or acting in a different way or overcoming self-sabotaging patterns that they may have been in. And it seems like they just didn't use that energy. And maybe I shouldn't say use, but they seem to not have embodied that energy or been afraid to take responsibility. They may have been afraid to confront their actions. They intuitively know this, that this connection may be at this point, at this stage. It may have fallen apart because of their fears, because of their behavior towards you. They know you're a lover. That was the first thing I thought when this card came out. And they know that it was kind of their moves that pushed you away. Because I think they know they fumbled, but I think that's more like kind of an inner knowing and not necessarily something they would accept to themselves or to you or to anyone. I think they sense that there was a lot of potential here. And that maybe they will not have this opportunity with you again. There is a sense of like loss and a sense of distance, especially distance kind of instigated by the energy that you are in. I think they intuitively sense that regardless of what their logical mind might tell them, regardless of what their ego might tell them, it seems like the door to you is not as wide open the way it used to be, or maybe not even open at all. There is definitely a sense of like, I messed up. I know I messed up. But I think there is also a very strong conscious denial of that. Conscious in the sense that I think this person does have an inner awareness of a lot more than what they let on. And their energy feels quite tangled up in itself, like kind of knotted, uncomfortable. Like there is a need to breathe again. That's what it feels like, but it also feels so... It's a difficult energy to put into words, but it's like just kind of knotted in on itself and isolated from everything else in reality, regardless of what it might appear like. This person senses that you're not buying it. You're not buying what? You're not buying their act. Their act? Their act. Yeah. For some of you, this person could have acted in a deceptive way, or very hot and cold, very inconsistent, very unreliable. They may have kept you in the dark about their intentions or led you on, for some of you as well. This will not be the case for everyone, but for some of you, this person, there could have been gaslighting involved in this situation and some manipulation as well. If that is the case, I think that is a pattern for this person. I think that is a form of self-preservation. I think that is a form of keeping situations in their control. And it doesn't have to mean they have ill intentions. And what I mean by that is I am not excusing any of that kind of behavior, any abusive, any manipulative behavior. That is just messed up, and that's that. And that is not what you deserve. If that is something that you have gone through with this person or because of this person, that is not a reflection of you at all. But the reason I'm kind of talking about this is because I think this person is quite insecure. And that's where that behavior comes from. And not from you deserving it, or not because everyone is like this, or anything along those lines. Not because you did something wrong, or none of that stuff. But only because I think this is someone who is almost tormented by themselves in their own head, in their own energy. I think this is someone who doesn't know themselves very well, so they try very hard to keep up a certain appearance and to keep people at a distance because they don't know what others might find if they get too close, because they haven't been able to get close to themselves either, so they don't know what they might find. And I think not knowing that is scary to this person. But again, that doesn't excuse their behavior, and they know that. I don't know if that's even intuition or just kind of common sense, but they realize they have not treated you right. I think they have that intuitive awareness, but if asked, they might deny it. They may say, no, I don't know what you're talking about, or, oh, like, that didn't happen, or that's not how that happened, or they may have said things that invalidated your feelings that came out as a reaction to their behavior. And I think on some level, they feel the story to this isn't over, at least on their end, at least on the learning lessons front, facing themselves front. And I think they notice that they have a pattern, but I think what they connect that to, what they tie that to, is that this is just how the world works, or this is just how relationships work, or this is just how they are because they've always been this way, or their parents were this way, so this is how the world works, this is just how it is, this is what a relationship is, or this is what being close to someone means. I think they may tell themselves these things because these patterns, these beliefs, these limitations are so deeply embedded in their mind and in their emotional space. I think it's tied in with a lot of fear. And they intuitively know it is up to them, because we're often all hurt in some way, like wounded in some way, afraid in some way, anxious in some way, confused in some way. But what matters the most is not that fact alone. It's not about being perfect or not hurt at all, but it's about what we do with that pain. It's about taking responsibility for our own healing, which I think this person realizes. I think this person feels that intuitively. Or it's their gut feeling. I feel like this person would not be someone that talks about intuition at all, actually. But even if they have this kind of inner knowing, this understanding, this that they're not so blind to their own actions, they're not blind to the fact that it is their responsibility to take care of themselves and to heal. And it's not
that, oh, you're hurt, you can hurt other people, that's a given, or anything along those lines, which I think
could be what on the surface this person thinks, like hurt people kind of energy. But we have this, you have the ability to affect your own destiny. I think this person may tie things to their bad luck or like the cards they've been dealt. But they have that inner knowing that it's not so simple, and it wasn't so simple or so outside of their control in this situation. And it's a bit of an inconsistent energy because I feel this person wanting control. And once they, or if they can't have that control, then it is completely unrelated to them and related to like bad luck, completely external things then. But if they're in control and things are going well, it also seems that they would be more likely to take responsibility for that or take credit for that. But I think all of this ties back to this person feeling quite insecure in themselves and not really willing to be vulnerable because of that fear, because of that anxiety of what might happen. Because that is, it seems like unknown territory to them. No matter what they said, I think they know you meant well, that you had good intentions with them. Because for some of you, I feel like this person could have pushed you away or kind of acted like you had bad intentions with them and changed the narrative in a way where their behavior seems maybe like it makes sense or seems rationalized, at least to them, even if that's not really what happened or that's not really the experience you went through. There's a bit of like only validating or only seeing their perspective as valid, and not maybe naturally considering the other party as well. And I think on some level that is a choice that this person is making or has made, to not seek a way out of their patterns, out of what's kind of keeping them stuck, behaving in the same way and harming their relationships or harming the people around them. But I think this is someone that finds it difficult to ask for help and finds it difficult to open up to other people, like truly open up and truly let other people in and allow them to be there for them. Because I think that is something that this person feels they can't do. And that is, it's making me think of like, let's say this person doesn't know how to speak German. They've never spoken German. They haven't received German. They, when they were a baby, they didn't hear any German from their parents. And then you come into their life speaking German, or like this just doesn't have to be German, obviously. But you come into their life speaking German and they don't understand it because they never learned. And they may pick it up a little bit from you, or they may choose to learn it with you. But it seems like in this situation, this person may have just been like, I don't understand this. I don't understand this language. I don't understand this caring energy, this love. I can't receive it because I don't understand it. And I can't speak it back because I never learned this. It seems like that kind of energy. And I don't necessarily think they would be able to put all of this into words, but I think they have that inner knowing that it is not so simple, and it is not as simple as like bad luck or the circumstances didn't work out or it wasn't in my control. I think they have that awareness. I think they have that inner knowing. Yeah, let's get into the tarot. And while I'm clearing these, I will quickly mention what we're looking at in the extended. We will be getting tons of channeled messages from the person on your mind. We will also look at their next actions towards you and this connection in the near future. We will also look at their intentions with these actions, like what they intend to do or achieve by kind of taking this course of action. And we will finish off with advice for you. So if you're interested, the link will be down below. All right. Pile 2, please. What is this person's intuition telling them about pile 2? That is too many. How many? Oh, actually, that's okay. We have the Two of Swords in reverse. We have the Three of Wands, and we have the Lovers. I think intuitively this person still feels quite connected to you, and with the Three of Wands and the Lovers, like the energy exchange, not even exchange, but the energetic bond, the energetic connection, it still seems to be there, at least on their end. And I think they feel you. I think you appear in their head quite a lot. And I think their intuition is pointing them in the direction of you and this connection, because they realize they are deeply unhappy right now. We have the Sun in reverse. They are not happy. Whatever they may tell themselves or other people, whatever they may try to show, however they may try to appear, they are not happy. We have the Moon. I think they have an inner knowing that if they had matched your energy, this could have been something magical. Like this could have been the person they were waiting for their whole life, the energy that they were waiting for their whole life. And I think that's why they still feel so intuitively drawn to you, because this was a big opportunity for growth. And it seems like you took that opportunity for growth. Whatever energy you were met with, you kind of took that and you've been repurposing that into your own growth, into your own healing. Even if it's unfortunate that these were the cards this person dealt to you in this situation. It seems like you have been repurposing this energy or using this energy as fuel to grow, and this person has been using it as fuel to run, it seems. We have Cancer energy, also Pisces technically, Leo and Gemini. The summer months could be significant. We literally have June, July, and August from Cancer, Gemini, well, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. And I will also mention some of the energies that I think are in this pile do come off as some maybe narcissistic behaviors, but I cannot diagnose or label someone with narcissistic personality disorder based on these. And I also should not diagnose anyone because my specialty was not clinical. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that because sometimes I see in my comments like that mention narcissistic personality disorder or yeah, things like that when energies similar to this come up. And it is possible to have narcissistic behaviors without having like the diagnosis or the personality disorder. Just as a side note, of course you know your situation best, but I feel like some psychology terms have been so widespread in popular media, like things like gaslighting as well, that suddenly everything has become gaslighting and everyone has become a narcissist. And I feel like that can be quite misleading because humans are not so like this or that. And I think sometimes it can like misguide our judgment about people, like this kind of popularization of these terms, of these concepts. But that's just a side note. I just felt called to mention that. So can we clarify the Two of Swords in reverse, please? We have the Page of Swords. Yeah, they intuitively feel they got in the way of this connection and they got in their own way and they still are. King of Wands. Five of Wands. We have the Nine of Cups. I'm hearing, I should have fought for you, not against you. With the Lovers and the Five of Wands, that kind of seems to be the central energy as well. There's kind of an intuitive knowing that what they lost was big. What they lost was not something you come across every day. It was rare. And we have Death. Scorpio energy. There's a lot of watery energy coming through. And I think this person is in their feelings, even though they try to push their feelings away, even though they're not very happy being in their feelings. And I think they're trying to kind of establish themselves as grounded and like in control of their heart space, especially. But I don't think it comes as easily as it used to for them. And I think they feel intuitively this transformation that is kind of knocking on their door, trying to pull them in, trying to take them out of their comfort zone and make them do things differently or make them try things differently. And they intuitively feel that that is entirely connected to this connection, to how they acted in this connection. And that your energy and you were giving them a chance to do things differently. You were giving them the opportunity to do things differently. But it seems like for a lot of you, they didn't really choose to do things differently. And kind of kept repeating their same patterns. And I think there is also an intuitive knowing that they should step up, also for their own sake, especially for their own sake. But it also feels like there's a lot that has been coming in the way of that happening. And a lot that is coming in the way of that happening. Is there anything else that wants to come through? Right, I think this is where we are taking this to the extended. I will see you in a little bit if you're joining me there. If not, that is perfectly okay. I am sending you tons of love, and I hope this reading was helpful. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 3s, and welcome to your reading on what their intuition is telling them about you. And we are starting off with these oracle cards first, then we have some tarot to get through as well as an extended, but we will talk about that later on. Before we get into this reading, I will quickly mention that you were supposed to be pile 1, but while I was pre-shuffling the oracle cards, I felt very called to switch the pile numbers. So now you're pile 3, but I'm just mentioning it in case some of you were drawn to both, or there are messages in both for some of you. I don't know. I will leave that part open to your interpretation if this has any significance at all. But, and another thing I want to say before we get into this is that it doesn't matter if this person is someone very in tune with their intuition or not. Or whether they even call it their intuition. They could be calling it their gut feeling, just a feeling, some kind of feeling, some kind of knowing, whatever it may be. The exact label doesn't matter, but we're aiming to look at what maybe you and I would call their intuition. So let's see what we have. Starting off, we have water element sensing, which is actually it's a card representative of quite intuitive energies, but we'll see. We have Cardinal, Cancer. I feel like this person's intuition has actually led them to this connection a lot throughout the connection, or has been. And it's still, I think, there is still this intuitive pull towards you and this connection that this person feels. We have the Hearts, the Hawk. We have Cornucopia. The letter C could be significant because we have CCC. Or the letter H because we have the Heart and then we have the Hawk. We have Go Within, number 48. And we have Moonshining, Stay in Integrity. For most of you, I think this is going to be someone that you are with or someone that you plan to be with. But for a lot of you, I think this is someone where you've had several cycles with this person, or at least like multiple. And it doesn't have to be that you were with this person, you broke up, got back together. It doesn't have to be in such solid terms. It doesn't have to be so labeled. But it seems a bit like you've gotten closer to each other, gotten intimate, and then kind of been pulled apart. Or one of you put distance between the two of you, and then back again, and then maybe far away back again. It feels a bit like there was a lot of back and forth, and there still might be for some of you, but it also seems like this is a situation that is maybe settling down a bit more, because with this Hawk energy, I think this person has been able to focus on the bigger picture of this situation. Like, they could have been frustrated about a particular disagreement you had or a particular circumstance, but then with this Hawk energy coming through, it seems like almost in a way guided by their intuition, they were pulled higher to see the big picture of the connection that the two of you share, that you really care about them, that they really care about you. And it seems like their intuition has been pushing this person to focus on what matters the most, because they might be someone who may not necessarily be the most in tune with their emotions at all times, yet when it comes to this connection, it seems like they are quite, like, very much led by their heart space. Like, they listen to their heart, they listen to their intuition when it comes to this connection. And I think there is a sense of safety, that almost like an intuitive green light, that this person feels around you and about you. There is something very soothing and calming about you that I think this person picks up on intuitively. It's that kind of intuitive attraction, it's that intuitive pull, that this feels right to them, that this feels good to them, that this feels interesting to them, that this situation and you have their curiosity, that you deserve their commitment. Because I really feel that this person intuitively feels the potential the two of you could have together. And with like this Cancerian energy coming through, I feel like this person kind of, like, I don't want to make this huge claim in a collective reading, but I feel quite strongly about it, so I will. I think this is someone that sees you as the person they want to be with in their future, and not just in their future, and right now as well. But it seems like this is someone who is intuitively, at the very least, quite sure about you. That doesn't mean they can't get confused by their mind or the practicality of the situation, or if you have an argument, that doesn't mean you would never have arguments or never ups and downs. That I think this person knows that it's safe to be themselves, and they intuitively know that you are being authentic, you are being genuine, that you have a good heart. I think their intuition really draws them to you. And it if this person is not somewhat intuitive, which for a lot of you, I think they would not say that they are intuitive, but they might say they follow their heart. But it seems so in their face in certain ways, like they may see signs, because look, we also have kind of the same imagery on the Cancer card and the Cardinal card, because Cancer is a cardinal sign, but also there is this, I feel like signs and synchronicities energy from this water element and the Cancer and cardinal, like kind of an inner compass, which is their intuition, but it seems to manifest in their physical world as well. Like they see your name, they hear a song about you, well, a song that reminds them of you. Things like that, like they see your birthday on repeat, repeating numbers, or they get a text from you and it's like always at 2222, like, you know? So I think there's quite a lot of encouragement, I want to say, around this connection, like intuitive encouragement, something that really points to you. Their intuition points to you. And it seems that I'm just seeing like a green light in my mind's eye. And maybe this is someone who is not necessarily like, what was it? I lost my train of thought. Moving on, I feel like this, there's kind of that emotional, that intuitive green light, but at the same time, they may be quite reserved in some ways, or still a little bit struggling with being emotionally vulnerable, being emotionally open. and allowing themselves to be emotionally seen. But I feel like that is also something that you have seen growth in them around, or something that they have been working on, or something you've seen them working through or trying to work through. Because it seems like this intuitive pull is, or has made this person essentially put in a lot more effort into this connection. And even if they have walked away in the past, it seems like their intuition was like, is this the right decision? Like, think again. You know the truth, like, you know. So it seems a bit like even if they've done something to sabotage this connection, which for a lot of you, I feel like they may have, because while I think this is someone who is not maybe the most comfortable in their feelings, I think they do sometimes act impulsively because of the way they feel. Like they may have said something they didn't mean because they were really upset, or they may have put distance between the two of you because they thought something was not going to be resolved, or it was not something that you could ever resolve. Because there is definitely that energy of fear in this person, that they may have run from the intensity of this connection. But it also seems that intuitively they were like, no, I didn't make the right decision. Like something in them was telling them, and not just in them, but I think all around them as well. It seems like the universe was just, I'm hearing, recalibrating their path to you. Like, because maybe there was a need to kind of be separate so that you could work on yourselves and what you need for yourselves, what you need to maybe understand better about yourself or about what you want. And it seems like if there has been space between the two of you, or if there is space right now, it is only fueling this person's attraction to you. Like, even if you're pulled apart, that connection is still there. And I think this person knows that very clearly, that you can always go back to that space of really caring about each other, no matter what it is that you may bicker about or argue about, or physical obstacles that may be between the two of you. I think this person kind of feels an intuitive safety net surrounding both of you, or an intuitive bubble that exists for just the two of you, that provides this safe space in your connection, and for both of you to just be yourselves with each other. Like, it's just a space for just the two of you, and no one else needs to understand it or see it or know about it. But it really feels that, it really feels like intuitive green light. I know I've repeated that a few times, but I don't know how else to describe this. But I think they just get a very intuitive, very green light about you. And that it's safe to open up their heart space in this situation. I think they know that you have pure intentions. And I think that comes to them intuitively, because I don't think they're necessarily someone who is like the most open, or is someone who is like very interested in being open in the first place. Or that might just be what they tell themselves. But I think this is not someone who opens up very easily at all. I think they're sociable. I think they can connect with people. But I think it's rare that they really let people touch them and touch their soul, most of all. And there is really that sense that it is safe to do that here with you. And I think with you, they may have always had that inner knowing that there is something soothing and so calming and so comforting about you. Let's get some tarot. Oh. And while I am clearing this up and while I get the tarot cards, I will quickly mention what we're looking at in the extended. We will get tons of channeled messages from this person. We will also look at their next actions towards you and what their intentions are with these actions. So we'll be looking at their actions in the near future specifically. And yeah, we'll be looking at why they're doing this or why they may act this way, what their intentions are, what they hope for. And we will also get advice for you. So if you're interested, the link will be down below. Pile 3, please. Pile 3. What is this person's intuition telling them about pile 3 and their connection? We have the 9 of Swords. What is this? We have the Star. That there is no need for them to be in their head. That there is kind of this universal guidance, universal encouragement supporting the two of you. And whatever difficulties you may come across, they're going to be resolved. They're going to be okay. We have the Sun. Leo energy or Aquarius energy or season could be significant. But there is almost something that they feel is fated about this. We have the King of Swords and we have the Page of Pentacles. I heard you hold the key. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the Fool. Yeah. We have Aries energy coming through. Bottom deck is the Lovers, Gemini energy. There's definitely been a new beginning here, I think, or kind of a restart, redo, fresh energies coming in. And it seems a little bit like it was a surprise as well. But then I think all of this person has intuitively known that the two of you are going to find your way back to each. We have the 4 of Wands, right? As I was saying, the two of you are going to find your way back to each other, or that the two of you would, because I feel like we have the Knight of Cups. What the hell? This is quite sweet. Yeah, but there is, I think, a lot of intuitive confirmation for this person that pursuing you is the right thing, or reconnecting with you is the right thing. But yeah, that doesn't mean it doesn't come without any overthinking, even if I think this person is aware that they intuitively feel that there is really no need to, because everything has somehow led the two of you back to each other, even through any difficult circumstances you may have faced, and your story is not over, essentially. I think that's what they intuitively know, that it's not over. We have the Page of Swords, and we have, do you want to be upright or reversed? We have the 3 of Wands in reverse. There is definitely, they see the opportunity for growth, for kind of growing side by side as well. Even if there are obstacles between the two of you, maybe distance with the 3 of Wands in reverse, or other physical circumstances. But more than anything, they see the potential to grow with you and to build with you as the two of you grow. So I think there is kind of a little bit like daydreaming about the future kind of energy here. Like daydreaming about their future with you in it, what that would be like. And I think it intuitively feels right to them. Like, I think their intuition is telling them that they will always find their way back to you, and you will always find your way back to them, as long as the two of you want that and wish to do that. And it seems like you share a very special connection that may have just gotten deeper and deeper with all of these challenges, with all of these revisiting maybe self-limiting beliefs, or where you are hurting the most. And it may have seemed very scary at times, but I think this person feels very encouraged energetically, and also by you, but energetically. And I think that is big for this person, because they're not necessarily someone who takes that into account very much, takes their intuition into account very much, or maybe they don't even really identify it as their intuition. But I do think this is an actually intuitive person, or someone at least with like an open line of communication with the universe. And I think maybe your journey together has also influenced this in them. Like, it's encouraged them to be more open to messages the way that you are, because there is kind of this learning kind of energy. Like, they've learned something from you, and they've learned things from this connection. I heard happily ever after. After laughter comes tears, comes laughter, comes tears, comes laughter. That's what I'm hearing in my mind's eye. So I feel like you have kind of been very back and forth with this person, maybe for a while, or maybe in the past. Definitely like some sort of separation or some sort of distance. I think that is coming through quite strongly. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're either in the process of finding your way back to each other, or you already have kind of been working through things and talking to each other and communicating again, or even communicating in subtle ways, like could be the case for some of you. But for a lot of you, I feel like this person feels intuitively drawn to communicate with you more, or they really see something that they think you would love and they need to tell you about it, or something happens to someone both of you know, or like something that it seems like if there has been a lot of distance for some of you, this person could have felt like, I have to communicate with pile 3. They need to know like this happened, or they need to know this thing I saw. This thing really reminded me of pile 3. I have to tell this to them. It seems like their intuition has been guiding them to take action towards you as well. Not just right now, but in the past of the connection too. Because maybe they were lacking the courage to really tune in to their feelings and do what their feelings were telling them, what they actually felt like doing. They could be someone who is like kind of restrained at times, or a little bit stubborn. Pile 3, please. Is there anything else this person's intuition is telling them about pile 3? We have the 5 of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups. And we have the Ace of Swords. This is kind of a side note. Bottom deck energy is a 10 of Swords in reverse. And we have the King of Cups right behind it. We have the King and Queen of Cups. I think if there was a separation between the two of you, intuitively this person knew its purpose, that it would create more balance between the two of you eventually. Like, it was maybe necessary to take some space at times, and this person could have instigated that in the past. Some kind of break, some kind of separation, some kind of like, let's
take some space for ourselves for a week or for 2 weeks or
however long it may have been. But it seems like the purpose of that was to find inner happiness or feel more fulfilled within in some way, and then break the silence again. Yeah, slow down and then let the energy go all around again. And it seems like there is definitely some skepticism of like, if you took distance from each other, like not skepticism, but worry that maybe things could have gone wrong or this could be the end, things like that. But I feel like this person has grown comfortable in the energy of this connection. And there is a very strong sense of familiarity and this energy of like, things will be okay. I know that intuitively, but my mind still makes me worry a bit. And I think they also really don't want to disappoint you, especially if they have in the past. Like they want to do right by you. Because maybe in the past they have not, or they feel that they have not. And that's not necessarily, I think, what their intuition is telling them, like, to do right by you. That's maybe kind of common sense in a situation like this. But yeah, I also wanted to mention that since it is coming through. But is there anything else? Anything else we missed that this person wants? Pile. Ooh. Well, I wasn't really asking the right question, but we'll see what came out. Judgment in reverse again, for Swords in reverse and the Tower. I think if you have had to take space from this person, it has given them a whole new perspective of the situation and your side of things as well. And maybe some of you are currently in separation with this person. Yeah. Look, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. I feel like energetically you are so close to each other that to me it doesn't really feel like a separation. But maybe some of you are not with this person right now, or you are in no contact. But energetically, I think you are very close by. And I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this was helpful and I hope it resonated. Well, I really hope so if you've watched it this far. But yeah, I am sending you tons of love. Take care and bye.